So for the past couple of years, DC Comics, Marvel Comics, they've both been trying to grab this Twitter audience, thinking that if they please the people on Twitter, that it's going to bring in this phantom audience that will blow the comic book market up. It's going to bring in a new audience, a new golden age. It's going to be great. Problem is, these people never buy anything, and we kind of have the numbers to prove it now. And it shows that they just don't know what they're doing over in the big two, which isn't working out very well, by the way, because according to numbers from ICV2, that's the website that I use to show the top 20 adult graphic novels every month, which are always manga or something from Webtoons every month consistently. They have a report out right now talking about how author sales are up, manga's up, but superheroes are down. Marvel and DC Comics not doing so well. They haven't been doing well for a while. I'm amazed that they are able to stay open with such poor decision-making skills. But anyway, back to this. So this is from Bounding Into Comics. A couple people worked on it. J.B. Augustine, John Del Rose, and from what I understand, an insider over on the farms. And they all brought this together to, in my opinion, embarrass DC Comics because this is embarrassing. Okay, so the reason I'm talking about this is Zoe Quinn, big figure. I don't need to get into who she is, but she was very, very big during the Gamergate time. Still being talked about today, by the way. Here's an article that was published 3 hours ago that mentions her. I just Googled her name before the video, and 3 or 4 articles that have her mentioned in it popped up. So she's still talked about today. So here's the numbers for her book Goddess Mode. According to this insider here, Boston Brand, Quinn only sold 3,441 copies of her autobiography, and the trade paperback version of Goddess Mode, which is the comic book that had a lot of press, only moved 715 copies. That's embarrassing. Embarrassing. Crash Override, How Gamergate Destroyed My Life. That book only sold 4,000. But the funny thing here that I want to focus on is the fact that her damn comic book, at least in trade paperback format, I don't know what the actual singles are. That's only 715. That's embarrassing. And as John pointed out in his video, this book had tons of mainstream press. Here's 3 from The Verge. Here's another one from Comic Beats, DC Roundup. You have to read Goddess Mode. Here's from Hollywood Reporter. Zoe Quinn delves into the origins of her comic Goddess Mode. By the way, I read Goddess Mode. It's an awful comic. It's terrible. I read the first issue and dropped it immediately because it was a mess, proving once again that there are no editors at Marvel Comics or DC Comics. This is a DC comic book, but I believe she was invited to write a Marvel comic book. I wonder how that sold. They just gave her work. Why'd they give her work? Because they thought that she would bring in Twitter people, and that didn't happen. She has 123,000 people following on Twitter, and she only sold 700-something copies of her book. It's pathetic. Very, very pathetic. I don't know when these companies are going to learn. But I was kind of shocked by this. But the reason that I wanted to even make this video was to talk about the fact that, you know, you try to appeal to all these people on Twitter, and this is what Marvel does. They try very, very hard to get Twitter and virtuous woke people to buy their shit. You get the most virtuous of woke people to make a comic book for your company, and the most you can sell, at least in trade paperback form, which is the most popular way to sell books now, is 715 people. That is pathetic. Very, very pathetic. You would think it'd be more than that, but this just proves that trying to get that market to buy your stuff doesn't work. It doesn't work. And I don't know what else I could present than this to show that, because this is pretty damning. Get woke, sell 715 copies. That's sad. That's pathetic. So, good work, everybody here. This is a great article, and I think it's hilarious how much of a failure that comic was. And it should show them, like, this is where their priority, this is where DC Comics' priority is. Selling books from prominent woke people on Twitter, and here's the end result. Manga takes over the industry. Manga and crowdfunding. So, good job running your shit into the ground, DC Comics. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, make sure to follow me over on Twitch. I do watch parties, play video games over there. They're always fun. Follow me over there and come hang out. Also, make sure you subscribe to YellowFlash, my other channel. There's a link to that in the description as well. I do a lot of live streams over there that I don't do on this channel. Usually smaller and a little bit more personal. So make sure you follow me over there and sign up.